Alright, welcome to the opening game in the grand final of Caesar's Challenge. Before we start the Community Challenge, I know I haven't actually got the stream labelled properly, but apologies. We've got Ares versus Eshwar, and Ares actually going to go for the early Hippo here, but otherwise continue his build as normal. Oh, okay, this is interesting. So he's not going to take the hunt, he's actually going to be really quite safe here. So Eshwar's got a rear side hunt, and he's got a couple of close hippos as well. So this is really quite a generous and quite even equal footing matchup. Eshwar's not going to worry about trying to micro the hippo close. He doesn't have close trees, so that's where Ares is actually going to be able to still go for a fairly quick barracks here if he wants. So this is really smooth stuff, taking advantage of a good map seed for Ares. Like, that can double as a stone storehouse. He's got, yeah, both hippos. He's already got the wood he needs for a barracks here. Putting it right at the wood line as well. Eshwar getting going a little bit faster. He didn't have to muck around adding the earlier storehouse and, you know, focusing down the hippos. So he's going to start his Spira production a little bit quicker, a bit more conventionally, but at the same time, Ares can't really be raided until he has to move back out here, because this is super safe. Like, this is unreal how safe this is, and this is just sort of defines Ares' playstyle in general. Like, he plays that, you know, aggressive macro game that everyone else does, but at the same time, he can be quite greedy. He can be quite defensive. Really use that to drive him into the late game. Eshwar, on the other hand, never misses a beat with early game aggression and mid game, you know, expand and control style play. And I mean, he'll still be able to get on these hippos really easily with where they are. He could have brought them back in town center distance, but, you know, probably didn't need to bother. So Eshwar maintaining his Vil Spira production. Ares going for Vils, but otherwise not really going for a huge amount of Spira here. He's going for a couple to defend. Well, Eshwar is getting as many as he can. And is actually, you know, using them to focus down the hippos. Or at least one. So he's probably going to look at pushing out once he gets the next Spira, I'd say. Going to have to come back and have a look at what Ares is doing first to make up his mind. Ares restarting his Spira production, because he did see that Eshwar did have a couple more than him at the time. Probably a fairly safe bet to assume that he is going to keep on going as well. Eshwar's already moved on to a second hunt, which is quite interesting considering he does have access to that hippo. So he's playing this quite safe. Neither player has snuck in hunting dogs yet, but Ares is going for it now. I do like to see this. Love to see it, but he's going to be down on his Spira count because he did momentarily cut them. He's got the 4 to Eshwar's 8. So Esh, knowing this, is going to go for the raid. He's also got more health on his scout too, so he's going to be able to stick around and scout more aggressively than Ares. Neither player's got aid tent just yet, which could be a nice defensive measure along with loom. But the beauty of it is that you can even heal up your defending Spira, not just your villagers. Ash is going to try going for it and doing well to stay outside of the TC line of sight there. So Ares doesn't exactly know when this is going to hit until now. So Ash is going to just go for it, try and focus down individual Spira as best he can. Ares staying within TC range there. But these villagers he's going to have to get out pretty quickly here. Does have access to that other hippo, so this might be why he's actually switched to the hunt a bit earlier. Because you can always fall back onto the hippos now and just try and entice Eshwar to overcommit. So we've got 9 Spira versus 10. Eshwar, Ares bringing in his scout. Eshwar doesn't have his here. Doing well to keep his units from coming through the town center and copping damage from that. So Ares 6, Sparrow to Eshwell's down to 6, but he's killed the scout now, and he's managed to age up. Ares, in the meanwhile, still in age 2, age 1, sorry. Overgathered wood potentially here. Needs to get a little bit more stone to get a second TC. Eshwell already has the resources for it, so he'll be looking at adding it to this second hunt here. Good spread of gold here, but it's on the other side from that food he's gone for. Ares. Don't know where exactly he's going to want to get the TC. Maybe over here, because it just gives him good control of the resources over here. Possibly up the back as well. Just makes him harder to raid, but doesn't really give him any forward pressure. Like, he won't be able to easily defend this later on. Whereas if he gets a second TC towards the front of his base now, this means he secures a lot more, and this stuff is already a little bit safer anyway. So 7 Spire for Ares. Coming towards that second town center being built. Eshwell's, he doesn't want to bring the scout in. Doesn't want to lose that either, because he knows he can finish just in time here. Garrisoning on the far side there. So Ares not going to muck around and try and focus down villagers, knowing that Eshwell can just villager garrison micro. Instead going to disrupt this other hunt. Maybe get the storehouse. Deny a bit of gathering time. But Eshwell going to be able to fight the Sparrow as well, which means he's now got the upper hand in the fight. So he'll be able to pick off 1 or 2 of these guys pretty easily here. So he's going to get 2 of them, dealt damage to a 3rd. So I think overall that might have been worth it for Eshwell, because the Sparrow, they're 50 resources each. The storehouse is only 50 resources, and he wouldn't have lost 50 gather time overall through all that, I don't think. Eshwell adding hunting dogs now. Ares has had it for a little while, but his second TC was a bit delayed compared to Eshwell there. 31 vills to 27, so even though there's not really been any villager killing going on, Eshwell with a faster second TC, able to eke out a small eco advantage over Ares here. Also got a stables and adding the range to follow up as well, so Ares going double stables instead. Eshwell adding a pair of ranges here, so I do like this from Ares. Though he will eventually probably need to get his own range himself, unless both players go to age 3 pretty quickly here, which frees them up to get immortals. But yeah, the double stables. I mean, double stables versus the double range and 1 stables. I think even though Eshwell's going to have the building advantage, I don't know if he'll be able to build out of all of them simultaneously just yet. Because he's adding another barracks too. So Eshwell's adding a huge amount of production this early on. It's remarkable he can squeeze it all in. He's doing well to just really give himself a good go forward here. Be able to replace units really quickly, because all he has to do is now just pull 3 or 4 wood gatherers off, put them on golden food, and he actually might be alright to just mass up a lot. Ares on the other hand, going for the double stables earlier. Eshwell double racks, double range, 1 stables. Ares 2 stables, 1 barracks, 1 range now. Well, because he's queuing this deep, it does delay his opportunity to get, you know, another barracks or another range. Eshwell's really exploding in terms of population here. Just wants to end this fast. So Ares trying to go for a Sabara raid here. Eshwell's not really got anything back here to defend. He's taken Loom and he's taken Aid Tent though, so he probably is only going to lose 1 villager out of this, I'd say. So 45 to 48, or 47. She's bringing a handful of spears back, pushing with everything else because he knows now that means Ares is going to have less of a front line too. He's got a big fighting force to start with here. A lot of Spara. Now he's mostly going for Asabara and Bowman himself. Struggling a little bit for food here. The Asabara of Ares cleaning up one of the houses there. So they're actually getting a little bit of value here. Although they're going to have to retreat now. Ares going to be able to get them out. Oh no, not get all of them out. But most. But a push here from Eshwar. This is really going to threaten a few of these villages. A lot of these units. The army's not all together for Ares, so let's lose a few Spira there. Does have aid tent though, so he's going to be able to heal up a few of these low guys. This wood line for Ares, not very deep. The bows are going to be able to snipe a couple of villages here. Ares now bringing back that raiding force of Asabara. It's a fairly good army here for Ares. And Eshwar doesn't have everything together at the moment, so he's going to lose some stuff moving out of here. Which means Ares does catch up in terms of overall population now. So 56 villages to 51 in favor of Ares now. Macroing up really well behind this. Means Eshwar does have a little bit bigger army, but I don't think it's by enough to really swing things. So it's going to come down to who can get in earlier upgrades here. Eshwar looks to be slightly faster on that. Ares actually getting double villager building the armory, because I think he realizes he's a fraction late with that. In fact, Eshwar's already got his pierce damage upgrade here, so he's really quick with upgrades. Very, very smooth timing there. Ares adding more production now. There's a little bit more stone just to start getting ranged armor or ranged or melee damage now. He's got a good number of Asabara. There's a good number of spears here for Eshwar. Ares is going to go for a raid, but Eshwar's just bringing everything together, ready to push. Eshwar going to age 3. Ares, no age 3 just yet. Wants to get a bit of damage done here. Eshwar needs to finish that house though. He doesn't realize where it is, I don't think. The raid from Ares, but this means Eshwar's doing a raid of his own and also has his army up the front to try and capitalize on a two-pronged attack. So Ares, his Asabara, a little bit adrift here. Even though they're going to get a couple of villages out of this, they're not going to be able to support his army. And Eshwar really just shoving here, trying to deny Ares an easy access to age 3 while he takes it himself. Nice surround with the Asabara. Coming in behind the Bowman here. Same thing happening on the other side of the fight. So, but all of Ares' Asabara falling now. Most of Eshwar's falling now too. So Eshwar coming out of that worse for wear in the end. I don't think he expected Ares to have his Asabara follow up as quickly as they did. The amount of bows here for Ares, he's not actually got any armory upgrades at this stage, whereas Eshwar did, and Eshwar coming out of that worse off. The villager kills and a couple of idle villagers there probably hurt Eshwar more than he'd realised. He had bottomed out on food a little bit. And yeah, he needs to get this house built here. He's going for his third TC. Ares in the meanwhile looking quite scary. He's still slightly up on population. He's down on armory upgrades, which will explain why Eshwar's not further down on score, considering he's got smaller eco, smaller army. Does have that age up advantage though, so his champion upgrades are going to kick in a little bit quicker here. Ares mainly just going for more armory at this point. Though he needs to cancel one of these and get it in the other armory. Yeah, he's doing that now. Eshwal's going to have to work to protect gold mines here. I think he realizes this third TC is very safe at the back, but it doesn't give him any coverage of any resources he doesn't already have good control of. So he really needs to try and get another gold well defended here, like this one here. Ares pushing in now. Doesn't have bow champion, doesn't have any Takabara, so that is an advantage Eshwal's got over him. But Ares not a huge amount of front line here, but he's got double Asabara production behind this. Though now there is some Asabara and some Takabara on the field. This Bowman Ball for Ares. It's gonna have to retreat. It's got its range damage upgrade, but it doesn't have any armor. Yeah, Eshwal's gonna have to really protect these gold mines. Ares is gonna have to as well. He's he's still got this one at the back though, so it might be a good idea of him to leave that there for the time being and try and play as aggressively on the golds as he can. If he can mine out something like these ones in the more towards the middle here, he can probably punish Eshwal in a sense and then fall back onto it later when it's nice and safe. A few villages are going to get picked off here by Eshwal though. For the rest of the low ones, they're all going to ultimately be healed up because of aid tent. So that's one perk of Persia. You don't have to worry about healing. So Vil count's actually favouring Eshwal by about 12 at 86 to 74. But Eshwal only just realising why he's not at 180 pop. Getting some more upgrades now. He's going to add in Shield Truss. So the first of his Age 3 upgrades hasn't even got Age 2 melee damage. And he's getting Age 3 Pierce Armor because he wants to push into a player with both Bowman and stacked Town Centers. So probably not a better time to get ranged armor before anything else in such a situation. So Ares actually going to try and get on this gold mine here while also gathering from the other one. Oh, and he's actually able to place it. Ares, lucky enough that the Eshwal's Asabara moved to intercept, and even though he's going to lose some of them, he is going to start the town center, and he should ultimately be able to finish this. Eshwal's trying to go for it though. He's got plenty of range here. He's got a few spears in the back there, but a little bit slow to get on top of things. The town center is going to finish up for Ares. Eshwal is going to be aware of him being on the gold over here though. But Ares able to maintain and defend here. He's getting a lot of Takabara of his own. He's going to get shield wall. Giving a lot of pierce armor for his own Sparabara. Eshwal having a retreat there. He just doesn't have an answer out in the field for all these Asabara and Bowman of Ares at the moment. Eshwal having a retreat. Gonna add temper now. Ares is just pushing him back. Really nice raiding here from Eshwal. He's adding a storehouse though. I don't understand. It's not immediately on top of the villager. The Asabara. It's going to take him a little while before he can actually chop down that villager. I have no idea. Why is Eshwal getting an aid tent storehouse? Not placing it immediately on top of the gold. It's just weird, man. Oh, and Ares may be able to get a couple of villages here. We'll pick off one of them. Once again, Persia going to be able to heal them all up with aid tent. Some nice camping the hunt here. Couple of Asabara here by Ares, and they will deny the storehouse being placed, which is ideal for Ares. So it didn't happen for Eshwar over here, which he was a bit unlucky. Population's favouring Ares at the moment. 77 villages to 89 of Eshwar, but he is at 180 pop. Eshwar only at 150, which means Ares has a much bigger army at the moment. He's trailing in terms of upgrades though. Eshwar having that one Pierce Armor Age 3 upgrade over his opponent. Both players having all the Age 2 upgrades. This fortresses and the spear is going to be nice to help clean this up, but Eshwar will drop a couple of villages. It might be just as well though. He's probably going to want to make sure he can match Ares' army size. Even with a couple of extra villages over your opponent, sometimes it can be a bit of a detriment because it actually means it's a bit of an uphill battle in fights. Ares now trying to be the one to be aggressive, but it's hard when you've got a mostly ranged, and particularly anti-ranged oriented composition. Like, you just don't have the damage against buildings or against most melee units. The Takabara fighting just means that there's a hell of a lot of range with these guys. So Bowman, their attack range 22, the Takabara, their attack range 24. Eshwar's going to try and attack that gold mine. He's even setting up a market here. This is extremely risky. I don't know why Eshwar's going with this all the way over here. That's ridiculously risky. Oh, he is going to get a couple of Asabara out of it though. The market nearly finished too. Eshwar's Rams just taking some extra damage. Not a lot being done to them though. Ares trying to look for an engagement, but Eshwar's now catched up. He's all catched up, bro. Eshwar's basically caught up here in terms of the army size. Ares catching up in terms of the upgrades at this point. It's a really weird spot to put a market though, Eshwar. Like, what the hell is going on here? Eshwar seemingly struggling for gold, even though he's got a huge amount of food, wood in the bank. A little bit of food, but needs to have a bit more. Ares, in the meanwhile, also struggling for gold. Ares continuing to get more upgrades here. Neither of our players have really transitioned to Immortals at all though, which is really quite interesting. Eshwar going to try and finish off this market out in the middle of no man's land. And at the moment it looks like Eshwar has just enough of a front line to force Ares back here. Ares struggling a little bit for gold. Ooh, Eshwar snuck the ram in. Ares has enough villages to clean this up though. Eshwar actually bringing the ram back for some reason. Maybe he wants to try and focus down the buildings here and also act as a bit of a tank. You know, and... oh no, he's bringing it back in. So, Ares... not a huge amount of front line here. More reinforcements here for Eshwar. He's managed to protect his market. It's such an interesting spot to have placed it though. Ares doesn't realise that the ram's still attacking his town centre. Two more have joined it. Now the villagers realise. And I think he should be able to save this. Ares having gone for markets at the back of his base now. You can see how tough it is to secure the golds, and GG, Ares tapping out there. Eshward taking the game. It's such a risky market line spot. Like, why not just go back here? Just don't understand Eshi, man. Eshward playing 9D chess there. Taking the game against Ares. Persia versus Persia.